As a team, I think it's just being able to look in the mirror and know that you did your best. It's not always looking at the wins and the losses, and I know people say that a lot, but it's true. At the end of the day, I always said, if they want to come back tomorrow, we did our job.
Next up, Minnesota is made possible by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies.
My name is Paul Oltzer. I'm from Worthington, Minnesota. I originally grew up in Albert Lea, Minnesota, and I am the head coach, co-head coach for the girls' Worthington high school hockey team, and I've been coaching for over 30 years. My parents got me involved with it real early, and I loved it, the camaraderie, the friends that you have. Some of the closest friends I have nowadays still are the ones that I played youth hockey with. And I just really enjoyed the sport. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of energy, so it was a way for me to get that out. And then the coaching just kind of came naturally because being a teacher, they like to get you into coaching, and working with the younger groups is what we did in high school also. And so it just kind of, it snowballed from there, and I started coaching when I got here, and it stopped.
What motivated me to get involved with coaching was I played hockey for like 10 years, and after I graduated high school, I wanted to stay involved with the team because I was going to college in the same town, and I knew all the girls, I knew the coaching staff already, and I love hockey, so I wanted to just give back what I was given when I was a player.
All my sisters do it, my dad coached, my uncles coached, all my cousins play, and I think it's like a really big part of our family. I feel like it just connects us all together really well.
What motivated me to play hockey is my whole family played it, all my cousins, my dad, my uncles. Really just, my whole family being involved really just motivated me to be involved. It made us all work closer as a family, I feel like.
My name is Sadie Nickel. I'm from Worthington, Minnesota. I play defense, and I've been on the varsity team for 5 years.
My name is Peyton Nickel. I'm from Worthington, Minnesota. I play center, and I've been on the team for 5 years.
I feel like what motivates us as a team is partially last year we didn't really win a lot of games, and I think finally winning, we've won 2 so far. I think that's really helped us get more drive, working harder, working together to just accomplish more.
Last year we did not win any games, and this year we started winning games, which is helping motivate us and knowing that we can win games and giving us the motivation that we needed.
Well, we've had some lean years where we didn't have many skaters, we didn't have many wins, and now we're getting newer, younger girls to come in, so we have a few more players, and we're just trying to slowly work our way up that win chart and to work our way up in the conference. And some of our goals are to finish better than last in the conference or in the bottom two. We want to be in the middle of the conference at least. And we just try to set goals that are attainable.
My name is Corey Nickel. I'm from Worthington, Minnesota. I am an assistant coach for the girls hockey team, and I've been coaching for 3 years. During this season, to tackle the challenges we've had, I feel like we have a really young team. So it's been good to work just with the younger players, get them more accustomed to varsity play, because it's a big jump going from youth hockey playing against high schoolers. So I feel like this season we've had to just kind of go back to the basics to get everybody working together instead of just individually.
Success means to me, not necessarily always winning, but say we have a goal in mind for a game and we get it done and it works and everyone's happy. I feel like that makes us successful. It's not always just winning, it's about accomplishing things together.
As a team, I think it's just being able to look in the mirror and know that you did your best, know that you're getting better, and to be able to be happy with your performance. It's not always looking at the wins and the losses. I know people say that a lot, but it's true. At the end of the day, I always said, if they want to come back tomorrow, we did our job.
Success to me does not only mean winning, it's more of growing as a team, getting better at things. We may not win the game, but if we improved on something in the game, then I would say that's success.
Going over the small hurdles just as much as the big ones. Doing small tasks and being successful to me is just as much as making big stuff happen. And as a team, I feel like we try to look at the small successes as well. Like, it's not always about winning. It's about, like, if we do something at practice and then it's successful during a game, we try to celebrate that.
We have like a lot of girls like are very like outgoing, and we also have a few that are very quiet, but I feel like we all really mix together really well. Everyone really looks out for each other, and like no one really gets left out.
I feel like our team has a lot of energy. There's some quiet girls, but when we're in the locker room in between periods, we always have music going. We're always up dancing, singing together as a team with high energy, like staying pumped for the game.
The dynamic of our team is very positive, which is good. I feel like every couple of years we have just issues of just small things that can happen, but this season it's been mostly positive. And I feel like the girls have a lot to do with that. They're all very close and they kind of treat each other like a family, which helps. Like, nobody's afraid to, get anybody mad or do something wrong because they just trust each other.
The younger girls definitely have a lot of energy. We have seen that with our 3-hour karaoke sessions on bus rides every once in a while. But other than that, they really just, they want to learn. They ask a lot of questions. They look at film. I get questions all the time during games. I get questions during practice, during dry land training. And this is something that has really started to become more and more prevalent as these younger girls move up, because they want to be to the level of the girls that have been here for years, and they're willing to put in the time.
So qualities that I think that are effective for a team to work is just trust, which we've been working on a lot recently, is trusting your teammates to do their job and then them trusting you to do your job. The players being open with each other, being open with the coaches being open to the players helps a lot. So if you can get off a quick shot, take it, and then forwards really try to push her back into the net. So passing in the zone will push her back in.
Are they beatable?
Thank you.
We got to show that. We got to show that we are going to skate harder than them, because when they get tired, they'll be awesome. You look at the face-offs, and they're out there standing there leaning on their sticks with their hands on their knee. So if you pass and if we work together, they're going to be skating a lot harder and they're going to get a lot more tired. You have to be able to admit that you're not perfect and that other people aren't going to be. But you're in this together, so you fight through it the best you can, and you help each other up. You pick each other up when you need it. You're critical at times, and you let them know what you're honestly thinking, but at the same time, you don't take it super personal and get hurt about it.
Definitely like understanding like when you mess up and when others mess up, that like it's okay, and like we can like move past it, just work together to accomplish more. I definitely think that like just like being kind to one another, like we all have the same goal in mind, we're all trying to play the same game, we all love it here, and I just think like that's also like a big part of teamwork and working together.
You had a good shot on that.
Having a good connection with people, like not only being friends in hockey, but like outside of the locker room, we all need to be able to like not hate each other and be friends with each other so we can connect.
I think just watching them go to other games together and sitting together and then spending all of this time on the hours on the bus ride and in the hotel and stuff like that, that you start to see their personalities emerge. And they have really been close together. When you see the seniors are talking to the 8th and 9th graders, it's just one big group. It's not little cliques here and there. And we're really trying to help that along, but the girls do a really good job themselves.
I feel like an experience that strengthened our team's bond was probably like 2 weeks ago. We won our first game in the season, and we hadn't won a game at all last season. So I think that just gave the girls a big push to just keep working harder, because now they know that we can be successful in games. So it'll help them push on and keep working every game.
Just winning games, like losing, we still have like the bond, but winning games really just makes us grow closer and like makes us enjoy the sport more, so we enjoy being with our team more.
I I think our community really supports us by like coming out to our games and like watching us and like being there through like the wins and the losses. People coming out to like our away games and watching us, like seeing like familiar faces at the stands really helps. Like when you're playing a game like 5 hours away, so that's really nice.
We had a losing record, so people didn't really like to come watch, but now that they know that we can win games, we've had more people coming and cheering us on and being more supportive since we are actually winning.
I feel like the community really supports like the youth programs and the high school programs alike, not just in sports, but in like music activities, the arts. So I feel like just the girls working hard and trying to do their best shows the community that they want to do good for them too, so that community can continue to support us.
I think it's just to show everybody that we're here and that we can be successful, and we just try to represent our town well. Something that they can be proud of, something they can come out and watch, they can enjoy the game. And then the girls, they do a lot of stuff out in the community. They're involved in other sports, other activities, and so we just really encourage them to do that.
I feel like our team's achievements, not necessarily of always winning, but being a competitive team kind of promotes and encourages community members and also like high schoolers, people around town, just to come out and support. So I feel like us working on being more successful will help motivate them to come out and support us.
I think a way that like the community has given back to us is showing up for our Beat the Trojans. We won, so that really added to like the effect of like seeing like everyone there, seeing our like one of our big wins.
When I look in the stands, I can see the community just being more supportive in us and cheering us on more and believing in us more, which makes us all feel better and more motivated.
How is your team able to set an example for the younger generation within your community?
Well, we just try to tell the girls that you have to remember the young girls are looking at you. They're watching what you do. They're watching how you act. They're watching things that happen in the community, whether it be at the rink or outside of the rink. And you need to represent yourself well. You have to represent your parents well, your community, and your team well. And if you start to do that, it will trickle down, and they will start to see this is how you have to act. This is what is expected of us. And then it's easier when they get up at this level.
I know we have a couple girls that will go out and skate with the youth teams, like the 10U and 12U girls teams, and I think that really helps girls stay in hockey and just overall kids get interested in the sport. And I know we also do a try hockey for free, so where kids in the community can come out, put on rental skates, and just go out and skate with players and just kind of learn some basic stuff about the game.
During our games, you can see all the younger girls in the stands, and after they like to give us knuckles when we get off the ice. And just being involved with the younger girls really just helps, like giving them knuckles, waving at them during the game, really just acknowledging them, I think really benefits it.
An obstacle that we've like overcome this past season is like showing up for games, not like literally but like hypothetically, like mentally, like preparing to show up for games and play hard all 3 periods. I think at the beginning of the season we kind of like had a hard time with that. As like the season has progressed and like we've been improving a lot, I think we really started to like actually like show up like mentally, physically prepared to play.
Some of the obstacles are just when we have people that get hurt, or we have things that happen during a game where somebody maybe can't play and other girls will jump in and take that place. That happens a lot, and they like to pick each other out. And we haven't had any bad ones like we had a couple years ago. But this year, it's just little challenges here and there where we have periods where we don't play so well. And you can see the girls all of a sudden start to encourage each other, start to slap each other on the helmet, and try to get everybody back on the same page so that they can pull out of whatever funk it happens to be they're in.
Throughout the season is just having a young team. It's hard to get the girls accustomed to playing against, like we have freshmen and 8th graders playing majority against teams that have juniors and seniors in high school. So when you're putting a 15-year-old against an 18-year-old, there's a big difference in skill and just overall like knowledge in the game. So I feel like just working on getting them more used to playing at this level. Kind of in youth hockey, sometimes it's a big difference in skill level with your teammates because you have kids that just join and then kids that have been in hockey for years. So it can be kind of like a 1 to 2 man shows skating it coast to coast on the ice. So getting up on varsity, we have to kind of teach them to have some hockey sense and to play together as a team, which is something we've been trying to work on a lot.
At the beginning of the season, I was getting in my head a lot in the games. Like, I was being too hard on myself, I feel like. And as the season's gone on, I've loosened up a little bit and realized that, like, this is a team sport, not an individual sport. So relying more on my teammates too, and not just on myself, and trusting my teammates has really helped. As a senior, I've learned a lot of respect for myself in the sport and teamwork and being able to trust other people to help you. And I feel like that's really going to benefit me for the future.
It's different because I've coached both the boys and the girls' high school. And with the girls, you have to talk to them a little bit differently. You have to deal with them a little bit differently. At times during practice, there's things that they do that I just shake my head and skate away, and it's not worth addressing at this time. But overall, I think they've made me more attentive to the game of hockey because they ask really good questions. And I have to figure out different ways to explain things because they may not understand one way, so I have to try to find another way. It's a lot like teaching. And so I've learned to look at the game differently and maybe come up with different analogies for them because the hockey sense, they don't watch as much hockey as they probably could. And so I have to show them examples. I have to show them YouTube videos and things like that so they get an idea of what it is. So it's changed how I view the player and how you have to be effective to communicate with that.
Being so young, because I just graduated high school 3 years ago, was being the girls' friend. Like, I'm not their friend, but I'll be friendly. I still have to, like, be an authoritative figure. I don't want them to come to me if they're having problems or if they need to talk, but sometimes I have to, like, create a boundary, like, okay, I'm not your friend in high school, I'm your coach on the ice, which it's been hard, but I think it helps having Chad and Paul also be there to help me kind of work through that kind of stuff at the same time.
Some qualities that I would take from my like past few years in hockey, I would take like trying hard with everything I do and trying my best with everything because hockey is like, it's a hard sport, but like the result is very rewarding. Like knowing you tried your best out there, like you get what you give.
The team really supports each other during tough times by just encouraging each other, which I feel like our team is very close and they just know how to lift each other up. They try not to get upset with each other. And instead of being mad, they talk it out or they just encourage each other. And I feel like with the coaching staff too, we try to like explain to them if something wrong happens. We try to not, get so irritated at them. We try to help them learn from that instead of getting mad.
During tough times, they basically just pick each other up. They'll say what they need to say, and then it's just knuckles and let's go. A lot of times you just sit and listen. There's a few times where they've had concerns or things that were bothering them. You just sit and listen. Just basically being there for them because you spend a lot of time together, especially on those long road trips and things like that. You spend a lot of time together. So if they are comfortable enough to come to me with concerns or with things that are bothering them, then that's perfect. That's exactly what we need.
Even though like we lose a game and like things like kind of feel like hopeless, there's always like one or two girls who really like bring that energy back. And whether it's just like play music in the locker room or like someone just like yelling like, hey, like we got this, we're gonna keep playing. I think that really helps.
Our team is a very supportive team with each other. We're always helping each other, lifting each other up, never trying to put anyone down. We're always happy, yelling, cheering in the locker room. And if you see someone down, someone always go up and talk to them and give them a little pep talk, try to bring them up. And it's just like, I feel like as a team, we just really aren't ever down. And like we're always up and high in energy, trying to brush off all the bad things that are happening. A couple times where I really just wanted to give up and be done, like when we play the difficult teams who are absolutely demolishing us. It gets really hard, but You just have to go out there and you have to give it your hardest no matter what. It's a team effort. It's not just you. You can't pin it all on yourself. Like, go out there and give it your all no matter what. No matter what the score is, whether you're winning or losing, you just have to keep trying.
Knowing that like you're not just out there alone and like trying to like win. We're all out there doing the same thing. We're all trying to like keep the shots off and like skate it down and try to score.
I think a moment that was really tough was last season. We didn't win any games, which is very hard. As a player and as a coach, I felt like maybe we weren't doing enough for the team. Like we weren't giving them the right drills and the right skills and the right help and support to help them be successful. Sticking to what you know and really just being a supportive coach, promoting the team to be supportive towards each other, kind of just helps everybody push on through, and just reminding them of like the successful little things, like scoring a goal or getting so many shots on net. Like it's not always about winning. You can't always win games, but you can still be a successful team without necessarily winning games. I did a great job staying calm and not getting overwhelmed, which helped tremendously in those last few minutes.
Took the puck into the corner just to stall time. I love it.
A couple of the games we've had where there's about a 4 or 5 minute stretch where we give up quite a few goals. And it'd be easy just to say, all right, let's pack it up and go. But it's not. It's not over. We've got to learn how to face adversity, and we have to learn how to come back from it. And so you try to just gather them together, give them some confidence, give them a few things to work on, a few things we need to change, and then slowly make progress.
I think a big part of that helps is like our coaches. They're always telling us like what we can do better and how we can improve. They're not afraid to like tell us that like when we're playing bad, like they'll tell us, just be like, hey, like, you guys really got to pick it up this period.
Every second you're on the ice, skate 100%. That's what it comes down to. I'm not going to tell you that they're better or worse than us. The problem is when we come and play teams like this, we play down.
And I think that really helps like that like constructive criticism helps like be like, all right, we got to keep going, we got to keep playing.
I think diversity within our team and my coaching is kind of like all the girls are so different. Like they have different personalities, they have different family lifestyles, and it's just I'm able to learn a lot and just kind of change how I like speak to them if this player acts this way and this other player acts another way. Changing how I talk to them and changing how I coach them can help just give everybody the support that they need.
You have to deal with different players differently. There's some I can get right in their face and I can just tell them what they did wrong. And there's others that if you do that, they'll immediately shut down. So you learn their personalities. What is it going to take to get them to do what we need them to do to become part of the team and to work together? There's different maturity levels. There's different experiences that they've had. They come from different backgrounds, different towns even in this case. And so you just have to kind of learn their personalities, how to deal with them, and then just remember that when you're talking to them or you're addressing them one-on-one.
We have a very young team, so there's a lot of different age gaps. It's just the different mature levels between us. A lot of the other teams have a lot of older girls. I try to just tell them they have to be a little more tough-skinned and not let the age gap between the other teams and then get to them. They can go out there if they play their hardest. They can keep up with them. They can skate with them and play against them.
We all share this common interest. We're out here to do it together and have fun. That just really helps keep us all together.
Future next seasons, I think we really need to improve on hockey sense, knowing the game, not just doing everything on your own. Like you can't do everything on your own. You have to support your teammates. You have to be trustworthy. You have to do your job. So really just promoting them to, watch film, stick handle, shoot at home. We can't do everything in an hour practice time. So just working on independent work, but also being a supportive teammate on the ends.
Some areas I think we could improve in would probably be like just working on our stick handling, which something like our coaches have told us like it's something you have to work on your own time as well, not just here. Being confident you can carry the puck down to the other end of the ice and like knowing that your teammates will be there to like catch a pass.
Our team can improve in a couple ways: stick handling, just making plays, really passing. But with our very young team, they're all very good players. So I think as they grow older, they will get better at that and they will get very far in the future.
I think it's just watching a little more hockey and having a little more hockey sense so that they understand the flow of the game. A lot of times when you get to youth hockey players, they're good at drawing an X and saying, this is where I stand, and this is the line I skate on because the coach drew on the board. Yeah, well, if there's somebody standing there, you don't do that. You have to adapt to it. And that just comes from watching a lot more hockey.
Any advice that I would give to any athlete out there is to go out there and give it your all no matter what, no matter if you're winning or if you're losing. Never give up, give it your all every day.
Have fun, surrounding yourself with like people who lift you up and not bring you down. You're there to have fun and play the sport you love.
It's okay to celebrate the little things. From experience, you can't always be the best team in the state, be the best team in your conference. Sometimes you can't even be the best team in your area, but focusing on creating little goals and then accomplishing those instead of making a huge goal can help with your self-confidence, but also help you keep pushing on.
Small gains. You're not going to instantly, just because you work out one summer, come back and be the star player. Pick something small to work on, something to improve on. And once you get that down, then move on to the next thing. But you have to put in a lot of time. A lot of the athletes here put in the time. You have to put in extra time. You have to go that extra distance.
Next Up, Minnesota is made possible by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies.